India again today, just when Australia at the start of the day were doing as we expected they might. David Warner, Marcus Harris, 89 for the first wicket. They could be in a position to make bulk runs, declare, but weather did intervene. But the first intervention was from India's bowlers. We saw, as I say, a maiden 5-wicket haul in Test cricket by Mohammad Siraj. Who would have possibly thought he'd be leading this attack and leading it so delightfully a month ago? Well supported by Shardul Thakur, who's had an extraordinary Test match as well, really. 7 wickets in addition to his 67 yesterday. And even though India, sure, they're a long way behind in this game as far as chasing 328 in the final innings is concerned tomorrow, but taken as a whole, another day where they did their country proud.
I mean, I don't want to give the impression I'm being condescending or talking down, but this Indian team has punched above its weight. There's no doubt at all. I mean, you're talking of number 7, number 8 in the pecking order, number 5, 6 for Siraj. You're talking of Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar having great Test matches. Now the question is, can they do it once more? It's come down to that. And you talked about this Australian side. I'm not sure this Australian batting lineup is in safe hands. Because again, you saw 4 wickets go down in 32 minutes? Australia lost 4 wickets, pulled India back in the game. You're thinking, 350 and another 10, 15 overs at India today. And all of a sudden, look at that. Harris goes for 38. I promise you, Adam, when I was a young man, or even getting on and started to cover cricket, I would not have thought an Australian opening batsman would be out fending, going off the gloves to Shardul Thakur. David Warner, 48, again the spin. Labuschagne looked so good. It was in that phase when Labuschagne came and got a move on. You thought, right, they're setting a target here. Australia playing this differently. And so what you got with little contributions at the end, they've got enough actually, Adam. I mean, did they bat on a little longer? Should they have declared a little earlier? Can you play store on the weather? These are things that are very easily commented upon when the two of us are sitting here and chatting. Very difficult to take a call, because what happens? Suppose you said 275 and say, I think 275 is enough, and doesn't rain. And India get a partnership going and you're suddenly racked with doubt. India 125 for 2, I think, oops, do I have enough here? So, I mean, it's interesting that the two key people talking about 270 being enough and saying, if India make 275, you're not good enough, are Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath. But for Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath, 275 is probably enough.
Yeah, and look, I suppose they're always enthusiastic about early declarations, and that's fine. But the decision Tim Payne had today was to balance that risk. And we touched on it yesterday that from a World Test Championship perspective, I mean, Australia don't want to lose this game, but at the same time, they want to win the Border Gavaskar Trophy. There's no doubting that. They want to win this series. It's been a mighty series at that. So they had to try to find a middle path today. And for the most part, they seemed as though they were heading in the right direction. But do you know what I think? In hindsight, they would have actually been better off had more rain fallen at the tea break and they didn't get the chance to go back out for that extra 50 runs, because now that India have got 324 additional runs to make tomorrow, look, let's be honest, it's unlikely on a 5th day, a pitch that's misbehaving a little bit, that will happen. But if India have 277 as their target, which is what it would have been had rain stopped play at tea, that's a bit more enticing. That's more than a carrot when you've got Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant all in your top 6, I suppose. So in the end, I think that little passage after tea and the fact that, look, we can't avoid the fact that there is so much rain around right now. Looking out my window in Brisbane, it is bucketing down, and in all probability, it'll rain heavily tomorrow as well.
The thing with the rain, though, is that the rain's been very accommodating. It rained at tea time. You got play again. It rained late in the day. Hopefully, it'll finish raining before play starts tomorrow. There's only that much that a cloud can hold. Maybe the cloud will empty everything and we'll get a last day that's befitting of this series. I mean, I remember the last one, 2018, the entire last day in Sydney got rained off. And we were all sitting there and saying, you know what, it's been a great series. Yeah, it's been a great series. People are playing cards at the end of a series, so it couldn't be. So I don't want that to happen tomorrow. If I was the Australian coach or captain, I'd have a quiet word with the person manning the giant screen, the electronic scoreboard, where you can see pictures. And I said, just keep playing the Steve Smith wicket on a loop there. When the Indians are coming out to warm up, just keep playing that Steve Smith wicket on a loop there to tell them what is possible. Here's a man who's batting like the Steve Smith we know. He's playing his quirky shots, but he's hitting everything of the middle of the bat. He's looking like he's going to get 100, and then he gets that boom coming up. So if that can happen to a set batsman, Australia need 5 or 6 of those balls. No more. 5 or 6 of those balls. So that's why I still think that if India can save this game, it'll be a very good result. If India can win this game, I was going to say this is what I'll do if they do, but no, not in this series.